you guys ready for this next topic?
Oh my God.
We had to have a long conversation about where in the schedule this was going to go, and we decided it couldn't go too early because we needed to kind of ease into this, but I think that I'm ready. I think I'm ready.
Okay.
Deep breath.
Right.
Do some stretches.
Limber up. Yeah. This weekend at Dynasty, Greg, a monster, editorialization, wore his best friend's gear and came out to the best friend's theme and terrorized poor Matt Seidel, who we've always loved, and kept terrorizing him even after he won the match until Dustin came out and told him to fucking chill out and stop beating people up. At which point Greg was like, I have had it with you not choosing. You need to choose. It's me or Orange Cassidy. I'm supposed to be your best friend. You have to choose. And as Leah had to remind me of this, then as Greg was leaving, he passed OC coming out for his match, and there was a brief. He clearly wanted to lash out at him physically yet again. Okay, but he had issued an ultimatum, and we got a promo poster for the ultimatum.
Who is your best friend? It was a poster with Orange Cassidy and Trent.
It was for us. They made it
and
for us.
Dustin sat in the middle of it. Incredible.
He looked very sad. He didn't
Very
look happy.
sad.
It was his birthday between Dynasty and Dynamite. And he posted and was just like, who fucking cares about my stupid, happy birthday, Dustin. Then on Wednesday, you have to go choose between your two best friends, loser. And when he calls himself a loser, that's when we know he's doing okay.
That is when you know that he is cooking. I know his stomach hurt so bad.
Tummy.
I know he felt so bad in his body.
He'd been not returning Greg's phone calls and texts before that because he couldn't choose.
He couldn't choose. He didn't know. I don't think he knew what he was going to do, to be honest.
No.
I feel like he maybe didn't know what he was going to do until seconds before he did it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that's right.
He had to do a trust fall with himself eventually. To say whatever comes out of my mouth must be right. So this angle opened Dynamite. And
opened Dynamite.
Bullshit. Because
Wild.
I was not ready. I was talking to somebody. I was like puttering around in my house. I thought Mox was gonna open, and so I like settled down, turned on Dynamite, was doing something else, and all of a sudden I heard the music, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm not ready for this. I wasn't emotionally prepared."
They're trusting Dustin to hold the demo from The Big Bang Theory. Incredible.
In his big hands, and he did it. I don't think he dropped it that we know of.
I mean,
that's not for us to know. That's for our sister podcast to know. I'm sure they'll report on it. What was I saying? What are we talking about? They opened, and Greg is kicking OC out the bad boy hole and kicking him and beating him up all the way to the ring. And it was tragic because OC wasn't even fighting back. He just looked like he just had gone limp to it. He said, okay, well then beat me up, I guess. Yeah. Because I'm just a lonely boy. I don't know why you're doing this to me. Just a child.
No one left.
No one left. And so then Dustin did come to the ring, and as commentary pointed out, they said he hasn't been out a hole since this all started. We don't know if they didn't put it that way. They said he didn't come from backstage or something.
I would love to hear Taz say, he hasn't come out a hole since the whole thing happened.
Kind of a groundhog situation, like, well, he certainly hasn't seen his shadow. Anyway, and Greg. So one thing to say is we have quite a few awards to give out tonight because of the amazing week we had. So Greg is actually getting the very first award of the night, and he is getting the most persuasive argument award.
Yeah.
Because he made a shockingly cogent case for why he was angry with Orange Cassidy and why he couldn't stand it anymore and had to become a heel.
Yeah. It was crazy. He delivered it so well, very naturalistically, very believable. And I don't know if anyone's turned heel and given such a good justification for it while we've been watching.
Which I will say is like saying in the entire time we've been watching, we've never watched anyone step over a pebble. Basically. I mean, the bar for what happened here is very low. Yeah. it was just such a normal little speech.
Yeah.
Where he said, when we showed up here, we were a real tag team. We were a big deal. And you were our little mascot. And now our little mascot grows up and he is the big star. And I simply don't like it. And,
Well, and
Dustin,
he
I
said
don't think you should like it either.
And he said somehow along the way we ended up his lackeys, and I was like,
Yes.
yes. Should we all get together and stab Caesar? I agree.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it was
but
an
again-
accurate description of what's happened, and it made sense that he might feel some resentment about it.
Absolutely. He didn't do anything crazy. It was just such a straightforward explanation of what was going on that I almost stood up and cheered.
Yeah.
It was like Greg has been noticing what he and his faction have been doing and what's been happening to them, and he had made it into a coherent personal narrative from his own point of view. And it's kind of surprising that people don't do that very often.
No.
Absolutely, because then he turns to Dustin and he says, I don't understand why you don't feel this way. I don't understand. He's basically being like, I don't understand why you don't sympathize with me. I'm your best friend. I love you. I want you to choose me and support me in this. Come hug me. He opened his arms.
He opened his arms.
Opened
and
his
he
arms.
Said,
He's made
Dustin,
an emotional
come to
plea
me.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, Dustin,
And he
come to me.
Threw Dustin the
in-
mic.
get in
and
here,
Dustin
buddy.
caught it.
Get in here, buddy.
I love that you said we got to get that in there. Dustin did catch it.
It was from both of them excellent mic throwing and
No
catching.
one could say he did it. He has athletic ability. He caught the mic. Mm-hmm. Does one of you want to explain what happened?
Dustin then held out his arms.
Yeah,
Like
he
he was
He
going to
opened
hug.
it.
Almost zombie, almost reflexive. He looked a little dead in the eyes as
Like
he
his
did it.
his body knew what to do,
Well, because-
even as his mind was still deciding.
OC is at his feet.
He's
thrown.
looking at
OC
OC
is on the
whole time.
floor between them, like
and he's given up.
given
clutching
up,
his stomach
Yes.
in pain. Dustin's looking at him.
arms wide, and then Dustin stops himself, looks at Greg,
He
and
steps towards Greg and then stops.
says, "Greg, I always knew you were a piece of shit." He said shit on television.
It did not
said
get
shit.
bleeped. He said
he
the
said
S
shit.
word.
He said shit, and then he punched Greg in the face.
Yes.
He punched Greg, and then afterwards he kneels and he pats OC's shoulder as if to say, "It's okay, buddy. I'm here for you." And then he helps him out. So, but he also said they won't clear me to fight, so we're going to fight in the parking lot. Okay.
Yeah.
He said they won't clear me to fight in the ring, so we'll have to fight in the parking lot.
Which again, you guys will have seen. We haven't seen this
Yeah.
yet.
I
haven't seen
we
it yet.
are
So
very
rough.
excited.
Oh my God. And they're at Daly's place too. So it's like legendary parking lot. Like the fact that I felt very like we're back in the womb. Like as we're watching Daly's place.
It is
It's like,
true.
we watched the only wrestling we ever knew was at Daly's place for like a year and a half.
We were at Daly's place. There was audio issues. We were excited about Best
It was
Friends.
sunset.
This is everything I remembered.
We just needed the guns jumping around, installing stuff, just shrieking, and we would have been home
would have been home.
100,000%.
That is true. What that segment was missing was Austin Gunn's voice going, "Oh no!"
God bless. And we're gonna get to watch them fight in the parking lot of Daly's place.
I'm so excited. I'm so
Dustin
scared.
Greg
I don't know what's going to
singles?
happen.
I
I
know.
keep being like, what if Dustin gets murdered for real? What if they kill him? What if
I
they
think
kill
he
my
has
boy?
been training, and now I'm like, I guess I know why. Because when's the last time he wrestled singles?
Long time. When's the last time he wrestled?
Yeah.
I understand he was injured. I'm sorry, Dustin. I understand that, and I'm glad that you heal. I'm glad you heal your foot, okay? I'm happy because I like you that you heal your foot. But I do want to see your body in action. I think it's
Yeah.
my right as a viewer.
I know. Take the
Questionable.
straps down, buddy.
What if
Let's see
he?
the
What if
see the
he?
top of that chest.
What if he doesn't do the onesie? What if he goes
Oh my God,
topless
Leah.
with the armbands?
Leah, if you had topless with the armbands,
Stop
don't
it.
even
I'll
don't
puke.
even say it
Stop
because
it. I'm so horny.
you know
will
we'll never
freak
get
out.
it. Don't get our hopes up.
I
No,
just
I
feel
want her
like
to get.
if-
I want her to get my hopes up. She's right that we have to keep asking. We can't stop
That's right.
asking. We are polite. We are respectful, but we say
We're
to the
not
men of
respectful.
AEW, we like seeing your chests.
we're
Take
not.
off the
Please.
clothes.
We're polite, but we're not respectful.
We're nice
Good.
people.
We're not respectful. If you hear this, and I hope that you don't, but also let's see the tits. Come on.
No, I want them to know that I do respect them, even if sometimes I might say things that are crazy. The things I say might be wild. I respect you all as people, but I do want to see your chests. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Is that okay? Enough? My God. Anyway. So, is there anything else to say about this? I mean, what do you
Oh my God. It was so good. I
was happy.
feel like I haven't had like a Dynamite that was this geared at me in so long.
God.
It was just like, wow, right. We used to see this kind of thing all the time, or at least not infrequently.
Often.
Yeah. It's huge. Oh, and we didn't talk about Greg coming out in the
my God.
Trent and
Yeah.
OC win the big one, except he taped over OC's name.
Brutal.
So rude.
It was
The
so
stuff
weird.
he's been doing where he did the hands in boys thing, but by himself at the pay-per-view, it's just like,
He knows what he's doing. I didn't know that he knew.
psychological warfare.
Well, because like so often he's like, guys, wrestling isn't real. So I didn't think that he would commit this hard. And he really, like, he's not winking at the camera at all. He is committing.
Yeah.
And he's like been posting stuff to social media that are just like nice pictures of him and Dustin
my
together from
God.
10 years ago.
But then
and
Orange
stuff.
Cassidy also posted a nice picture. And I
Yeah.
thought, this is the only thing that girls want. Is just
Yeah.
to watch two men fighting to be Chuck Taylor's best friend. That's what
Yes.
women want. We saw
That's
it for you. Boom.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
what ladies like.
Yeah. And some men of the IWC are all, why is this happening? And it's like, because women like it. There is one thing that's not for
not a
you.
crime.
It's not a crime.
A crime for us to like stuff and get it sometimes.
Get it sometimes. You
We
want to
don't
take
get
this
it a
away
lot.
from us?
We
I-
certainly don't get a lot.
Take everything away from us?
If
They would if they could.
make
Yeah.
any impact on the IWC, which
Yes.
you know, what like the
yeah.
tiniest little depression in
Like the butterfly flapping its wings.
I literally just wanted to be that like girls fucking love Chuck Taylor.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's an army of girls who would die for Chuck Taylor. And
And
there's
it's because
I'm sorry, men. It's true. This
Yeah,
is what
it is
peak
true.
performance is.
Yes.
It's
We
because
are-
he's low self. He's
Low
depressed.
self. It's
He's sad
because-
and
I
he's
was about to say
wet.
it's because
you
he
know?
calls himself a loser.
Yeah.
What we like.
When a man calls himself a loser and doesn't want you to look at him, why wouldn't you love that man?
You want to look at him so much more immediately.
It's just it's a rich psychological situation there.
So about the parking lot brawl, we did get a question from a listener, well, a proposal for something, and they want to know what we would think about it. And
Okay.
I don't know. I think
I feel like we're Samoa Joe's committee now. I'm so excited. I'm behind the
bit.
folding table and I am shuffling papers. I'm ready to assess the idea.
so. This Twitter is the AEW Women's Division blog. It's AEW_1 on
Oh, yeah,
Twitter,
great.
and they said so. So Trent and Chuck face off in the parking lot amidst a circle of cars. The bell rings. Both men charge at each other, but then stop and hug. Chuck reaches into his pocket and pulls out a key fob. He presses the button. The trunk of the sedan directly behind them pops open, and out flies Orange Cassidy, who then realizes what happens, sighs, and then Trent and Chuck attack him. So it turns out
Oh no!
that Chuck this whole time had tricked Orange Cassidy into
Oh, wow.
climbing into the sedan of the car,
Oh my
only
God.
to be betrayed.
Like to be like, OC, we're gonna attack Trent together, but then actually he and Trent attack OC together.
Mhm.
Well, the one thing I'll
Wow.
say is, I'm absolutely obsessed with the vision and the ring
Yeah.
of cars, especially. And I'm imagining
Mhm.
them with all their headlights on in a pretty sinister
Yeah.
way, like kind of like in a movie where the cars are alive, but they're not. They're bad. Anyway, it's kind of like Dark Side of Cars kind of deal.
Dark Side of Cars.
You know that classic
That
film.
car documentary that kind of gets into the backstage
I
car
was thinking of
antics.
the animated film, but this is like an evil version for adults.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, so horror movie. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, the
You're
thing
obsessed
I will
with the
say,
vision. Mhm.
I love the vision, And they did really emphasize that he ain't come out a hole.
Yeah.
That's
They
true.
really
They
did
really
lean
did.
on the fact that he has not come out a hole.
Yeah.
That, if they did that, the feelings I would feel in my heart, it would be devastating.
Hurt.
It would be
I mean,
I would
So
be
in a
really
good way,
fucked up.
perhaps, but
I've been thinking about this since he sent it to us, and I think that I could get into it, but only if it ricocheted and made like OC like the saddest and wettest OC
Yeah.
ever. Like
Mhm.
OC can handle getting surprised, betrayed by Trent, but not by both of them. And so then he starts wearing dark jeans and like
Oh my God.
flopping around and just
Black
like being-
denim.
Emo
yeah,
boy.
exactly.
When he was on
Maybe-
Being the Dark Order, just like catatonic in the corner. whew.
Maybe he's got a little bit of Swerve's purple eyeshadows, just making like his eyes look sunken.
Now,
Wow.
another thing I'll say, I love to say one thing. That's a lot of things. People have been talking, it's like, okay, who are the faces who are going to save AEW now that we have so many evil EVP CEO types wandering around? And of course, Darby has been mentioned. And Darby is quite sad little boy in some ways. And he'd love to wear his dark clothes. And he's famously friends with OC. I'd love to watch OC just trailing around behind Darby, who likes to be independent pretty much. And OC is just like, but I miss having friends. So I'm just going to go to Hot Topic with you.
They could sit sadly in the rafters together.
Yes.
They both lost their friends
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
If that was the consequence that we then got a misery era from OC,
Yeah.
I think I would be really into it.
Yeah.
And then it all has to come back together
It
at
all
some
has to come
point.
back.
We need to fight it
Yes.
out, and we need to get a reference that you guys don't have yet, but we need the BSG boxing episode. And those who know.